Hello guys, Dhananjay here and welcome back to a new video in which I'm going to review the OnePlus Nord after using this device for almost 7 days. In this video, we'll talk about all the pros, cons, the competition that this device has like other smartphones, comparison with those smartphones, and most importantly, whether you should go with this device or not. Because OnePlus is slowly capturing the premium market, directly competing with likes of Apple or Samsung with their OnePlus 8 or 8 Pro, like flagship devices which will cost you 40,000-50,000 rupees. And I have a lot of friends who want to enjoy a OnePlus device but don't really have budget of 40,000-50,000 rupees, or they do not want to spend that much. So for all those people, is the OnePlus Nord worthy choice at 25 to 30,000 rupees price point? Without further delay, let's get started. Let's start with the display. It's 2020, so the display has to be high refresh rate, and OnePlus Nord gets 90Hz AMOLED display panel. If you are not sure what 90Hz or 60Hz display panels are, then last generation, not really last generation, but last year we had devices with 60Hz refresh rate. As soon as you start using 90Hz refresh rate displays, you will realize that they feel much smoother and much better to use. Everything feels very smooth, and once you start using 90Hz refresh rate displays, there is no going back. Nothing is going to look that good once again. Not just that, the colors look very good, viewing angles are fantastic. So the display panel on the OnePlus Nord gets a huge thumbs up from my side, and this display panel is definitely going to be one of the biggest USPs of the OnePlus Nord. OnePlus may not have added a flagship processor in OnePlus Nord, but still OnePlus Nord is going to sell like crazy. That's because of Oxygen OS, and a lot of people are interested in OnePlus Nord just because of Oxygen OS. They want Oxygen OS at a budget price tag, and then they'll easily buy it. They do not want MIUI, they do not want Realme UI, even though those companies may give you flagship processor, slightly better camera performance, better charging support and things like that. People want Oxygen OS like experience. And why is that? That's because my friends who still use OnePlus 3, OnePlus 5, they have no complaints regarding the performance. They enjoy the performance and they don't see the point of upgrading to another device because their current device is performing this good. Not just that, when it comes to software updates, OnePlus 5, which was launched in 2017, it's been 3 years now, and it received Android 10 update now. It was launched with Android 7.1.2, I guess. Then it received Android 8, Android 9, and Android 10. These are 3 major Android updates. With Nord, OnePlus promises 2 years of Android updates like Android 11 and 12 and maybe 13, and 3 years of security updates. And looking at the history of OnePlus with software updates with their older devices as well, they were a little bit late with the Android 10 update on the OnePlus 5. But at least they provided it after 3 years. If I talk about the same Samsung flagship device like Samsung Galaxy S8, which was launched alongside the OnePlus 5, I'm sure a lot of Galaxy S8 users have faced some sort of performance issue, or the performance was not up to the mark after 3 years of usage. OnePlus 5 users are not really facing that. And that's why Oxygen OS is going to be a huge talking point on the OnePlus Nord, because even OnePlus says the device will be fast on the first day and it will be the same fast on the 1000th day as well, because their software experience is that optimized and software experience is that good. I did not even talk about bloatware and stuff. There is no bloatware in the UI, literally nothing. No Hello, no TikTok, no nothing. No other applications are pre-installed on the device. There is no pre-installed browser which will send you thousands of notifications, and that's why OnePlus's Oxygen OS is actually the biggest USP of the OnePlus Nord. And then the display is not the first one. Oxygen OS is the first one, and the performance and the overall software experience on the OnePlus Nord was very good in my opinion, and that's why the device gets 9.5 out of 10 from my side when it comes to overall software experience and overall performance on the OnePlus Nord. Just like OnePlus heard their customers to bring back the mid-range devices, Airtel is also trying to reduce the number of complaints to 0 so as to get the networking experience much better for their customers, and obviously to lower the complaints. One of the biggest issues earlier was indoor network coverage, which was solved by Airtel by launching Vo Wi-Fi, and Airtel was the first one to launch Vo Wi-Fi, which means that you can use your Wi-Fi network for calls if your device supports Vo Wi-Fi, and that will give you much better call quality. Like literally it's noticeable if you use Vo Wi-Fi. OnePlus Nord obviously supports Vo Wi-Fi, it supports dual 4G, dual VoLTE. Airtel has also come up with their Platinum service wherein customers can avail exclusive offers, rollover data, meaning you can use your last month's data in the next month. Not just that, priority customer service, which will let you call the customer service and your issues will be solved faster. After this, now let's talk about the specifications and performance. Obviously, as you know, the device comes with Snapdragon 765G processor, which is a 5G enabled processor. The device will cost you 25,000 rupees for the 6GB RAM variant, and then you also get 8GB RAM variant at 28,000 rupees. Obviously 765G coupled with 6GB or 8GB of RAM is definitely going to perform fast, and as I already talked about, software experience is very good, so performance is once again really good. As I was talking about 5G earlier, the device supports 5G and you are basically paying 5G taxes for a device, whereas 5G is not going to be available in India for next couple of years. Maybe like if you want to future proof your device, like if you are going to use the device for next 5 years and you want 5G support in your device right now, then OnePlus Nord makes a lot of sense. So basically you're paying a little bit extra on the device because it comes with 5G support, but you can't really use it right now. You may be able to use it in future. One important thing to note is that OnePlus Nord only supports one 5G band with the Snapdragon 765G processor in India. At least check your country's OnePlus's website and the bands accordingly. But if you buy OnePlus 8, 8 Pro, ROG 3 or Mi 10, Xiaomi's Mi 10 with Snapdragon 865 powered devices, you will get multiple band support with those 5G bands basically. 4G and 4G plus works super fine on this device. VoLTE, Vo Wi-Fi is obviously working out of the box on this device. If you are a gamer, should you go for OnePlus Nord? I feel like if you're a casual gamer who plays Clash of Clans, Candy Crush Saga, then 765G, it's like child's play for the device. Not just that, if you play COD or if you play PUBG occasionally, then the device will get you through that gaming as well. When it comes to PUBG Mobile, we are going to talk a little bit in detail on this. PUBG Mobile, by default, it's supported from smooth to ultra only, which means that you are limited to 40 FPS. As of shooting this video, when I asked OnePlus whether smooth extreme support, which supports 60 FPS, will be coming in the future, then they said yes, they are working with Tencent, and I am assuming that it may come in the future. But as of shooting this video, smooth and extreme option is not available. With smooth and ultra option, basically the default option, the device did not lag. The gameplay was very smooth. With GFX tool enabled, I would say the performance was okay-ish, not that great, around 50 to 55 of average FPS, which is good enough. But I was expecting a little bit better with smooth and extreme option, like 60 FPS gaming with PUBG Mobile. If OnePlus updates the OnePlus Nord to support smooth and extreme option, I'll definitely make a video on that. So subscribe to the channel. If you have watched the video till now, subscribe and press the bell icon so that you get notified next time I upload a video like this one. We did not talk about the pricing yet, and this is where things are very interesting actually. At the price tag of 25,000 rupees, where OnePlus is advertising the device as it starts at 25,000 rupees, you get 6GB of RAM and 64GB of internal storage. I have seen a lot of people buying Redmi or Poco devices, spending 2,000 rupees extra just to get that 128GB storage. They do not want to get stuck with 64GB storage. And that's the thing that's gonna happen with OnePlus Nord as well. People are going to prefer 128GB storage variant because obviously 64GB is little bit easy to fill up depending on the person who is using it, but 128GB feels like little bit future proof, and you will end up spending 28,000 rupees. Not just that, but the 25,000 rupees variant will be available in September. I'm shooting this video on 26th July. You will have to wait for more than a month to get that device. 128GB and 256GB storage variants will be available on the sale. Link to buy the device is in the description box below, by the way. So that's a sneaky play from OnePlus by launching a 6GB RAM variant and marketing everywhere at starting at 25,000 rupees, but making the device available after 1 month. I would say smart marketing, but remember, it's not 25,000 rupees that you're going to pay. You're going to pay, I guess, 28,000 rupees if you decide to buy in next 1 month. This year, OnePlus launched OnePlus 8 with curved display. Like, it's smaller curve as compared to 8 Pro, but it looks fancy. OnePlus Nord does not get any curved display. It's straight up flat display. And when it comes to build quality, there is glass in the back, glass in the front, Gorilla Glass 5 protection, but there is plastic on the side. Does it feel bad to hold in hand? I was able to notice that it's plastic when I started using it, like literally in first day as I shifted from OnePlus 8 Pro to OnePlus Nord. But after using the device for a couple of days, I did not really notice it. So remember, you are going to get a plastic frame after paying 28,000 rupees. Considering there are other devices in the same price segment which will offer you metal frame and they definitely feel better. But if you use a case on your device, then it doesn't really matter. You are anyway going to feel the case ka plastic instead of this plastic, which is good. I mean, there is a case inside the box which you can start using as soon as you get the device. You do not really need to spend extra on another case. The case inside the box is very good. Quad camera setup on the OnePlus Nord. Oh my god. Normal wide angle camera, then ultra wide angle camera, then depth sensor and macro sensor. This is the quad camera setup present on the OnePlus Nord. This picture was clicked with the dedicated macro lens and this picture was clicked with the primary camera sensor. You can see that there is a huge difference in quality. That's because macro lens, I mean, OnePlus probably added these two cameras just to make it a quad camera setup, and I understand it. Every other company is trying to launch triple camera, quad camera setups. They had to do it, but macro camera lens is not really good when it comes to quality as such. Depth camera, I mean, it's used for portraits. When it comes to normal camera, I was actually surprised. The results were pretty good. Similar to any other device with IMX586 sensors such as Redmi K20 Pro, last generation of Redmi devices, Poco X2 gets slightly better camera sensors such as IMX686. I mean, I'm not going to talk about sensors itself. When it comes to post-processing, OnePlus Nord definitely performed good here. When it comes to low light photography, this is a photo clicked with normal camera, ultra wide angle camera, and this is the photo clicked with nightscape enabled, which is basically a night mode, and the image definitely looks so much better when kept alongside the regular camera. When it comes to the front facing camera, you get two cameras in the front, and luckily there is normal 32 megapixel camera which definitely has good amount of details. Like if you have a device which has 8 megapixel front facing camera, then don't expect this device to have like 4 times more details. That's not gonna happen, but it definitely keeps a lot of details. Ultra wide angle selfie camera also clicks good pictures, and I was surprised to see that selfie camera performance was actually pretty good on the device. I also compared the device with K20 Pro. These are some of the sample shots with regular camera. Left one is OnePlus Nord and right one is K20 Pro. As you can see, there is not a lot of difference. K20 Pro is available for 25,000. I'll talk about K20 Pro later. And this is the ultra wide angle shot. Once again, both of them are very comparable. When it comes to selfie camera, OnePlus Nord was definitely better as compared to K20 Pro in my opinion. So overall, clicking photos with the OnePlus Nord was fun for me. I would rate it 8 out of 10. When it comes to video camera, so this is a 4K 60 FPS sample from the OnePlus Nord. I'm shooting a video right now. As you can see, this is how the video looks. If we look at the background, the sun is over there. So if we look at the background, this is how it looks. If we look for vlogging, this is how it's going to look. It looks great right now because I'm in good lighting condition, and as you can see, I mean, very good video quality overall. If I switch to the wide angle, then this is how it's going to look. By the way, this is in very good lighting conditions. The wide angle lens, like ultra wide angle lens, will not perform this good in low light conditions, whereas the regular lens will definitely perform good in 4K 60 FPS in good lighting conditions. If you decide to shoot in low light conditions, always record at lower FPS like 30 FPS, 25 FPS, whichever is possible, because that will give you the best video quality as such. But overall, as you can see right now, the video quality looks fantastic. I'll just click a picture. This is a 4K 30 FPS sample from the rear facing camera, and this is how it looks. If you can see over here, it looks great. Dynamic range, overall dynamic range is pretty good. If we show this side, then this is how it looks. Overall video quality on this device, basically OnePlus Nord, is not an issue, but surprisingly 4K 60 FPS option is present for the front facing camera but not for the rear facing camera. I hope OnePlus adds it in the coming future. All the flagship devices by OnePlus have this alert slider, and OnePlus Nord also has it. Now let's talk about the battery and charging. 4115 mAh battery with 30 watt charging support. I was able to get about 5 hours of screen on time regularly, which is good, I would say. It's just that I was able to get much better battery life, like 6-7 hours of screen on time with OnePlus 8, whereas that did not really happen on OnePlus Nord. I feel like with software updates, battery life can become better. 5 hours is not bad by any means. Like if you play PUBG Mobile for let's say 1 hour and watch YouTube videos for a couple of hours, then WhatsApp, Insta, all those applications, then getting through one single day should not be an issue. wideband L1 certification is present. That means 1080p support in Netflix, Prime Video, all these applications is present out of the box. HDR content is supported in Netflix, just in case if you are interested in that. As the device comes with AMOLED screen, it also gets an in-display fingerprint sensor. I keep my thumb over here or fingerprint and the device gets unlocked instantly. Once again, I keep my finger and the device gets unlocked. It also gets face unlock feature, so my face is over here right now and the device gets unlocked like without me even doing anything. So the device is on lock screen. I show it my face, it gets unlocked instantly. So unlocking the device is going to be very fast. There are a few things which I forgot to talk about in the video. First one is a big one actually. Even though it comes with Oxygen OS, it does not get OnePlus's messaging app and dialer app, and those are extremely good. I mean, when I was using OnePlus 8 and OnePlus 8 Pro, I enjoyed using the messaging application. There is call recording option on the OnePlus Nord with the default dialer, but whenever you start call recording, it will say this.
This call is now being recorded.
Which is, I mean, okay, can't really do anything, but default OnePlus's dialer did not have this type of thing at least. Not just that, when it comes to charging, OnePlus Nord will charge to 90% in just one single hour. So charging is very fast. Stereo speakers are not present on the device. There is only one single bottom firing speaker. Google camera support will be there. I'll be making a video on that pretty soon. Not just that, when it comes to custom ROM development, as this is a OnePlus device, kernel sources and everything will be released and ROMs, kernels will be available. So if you are into rooting your device or installing custom ROMs, then OnePlus Nord is going to be a great choice for that, considering Realme devices are not that good, but Redmi K20 Pro, another Redmi device, is extremely good in this department though. Comparison part is coming now. OnePlus Nord comes with a USB Type-C port and there is no headphone jack. OnePlus does not include the USB Type-C to headphone jack adapter in the box. So if you have headphones already, like good quality headphones with a headphone jack, then you will have to buy USB Type-C to headphone jack adapter from OnePlus's website in order to attach those. You can't really insert it anywhere else on the device at least. The device comes with dual SIM card slot, nano SIM cards are supported. There is no micro SD card slot support, and for all those people who are planning to buy 64GB internal storage variant, remember no SD card support is present on this device, only internal storage. So that's why I said earlier that a lot of people will prefer going with 128GB internal storage variant instead of 64GB. Even after having AMOLED display panel, optimized Oxygen OS and everything, there is no always on display present on the OnePlus Nord. I mean, I am not really sure when OnePlus is going to add this. Even flagship devices do not have always on display, whereas other Redmi devices which are cheaper already have the support. Now let's talk about the competition present in the market, such as Redmi K20 Pro, Realme X3, Realme X2 Pro. All these devices will offer you much better processor, such as Snapdragon 855, 855 Plus, which is a flagship processor, and 765G is very good and all, but flagship processor is obviously going to remain flagship and 765G is going to remain 765G. Those devices will not give you 5G support. This device will give you 5G support. With devices like Redmi K20 Pro, you will get 6GB of RAM and 128GB internal storage at the price tag of 25,000 rupees. Whereas with OnePlus Nord, you will get 8GB of RAM and 128GB storage at 28,000 rupees. Is K20 Pro the device that I'll recommend over the OnePlus Nord? It's difficult once again. As I talked about Oxygen OS and how premium it is and how people are willing to buy the OnePlus Nord just for Oxygen OS, that's going to be the reason. Redmi K20 Pro, even though it may not show you as many ads as a Redmi Note series device, but the experience is not going to be premium. People want premium software experience, guaranteed software updates, and Oxygen OS has proved it again and again that it's the best skin in the market. There are devices like Realme X2 Pro which come with 90Hz AMOLED panel. Realme X3 comes with 120Hz LCD panel at similar price tag once again. But should you go for those devices or this device? I feel like if performance gaming is your topmost priority, then those devices with flagship processors like Snapdragon 855 will any day perform better as compared to Snapdragon 765G. But if you are just a moderate user, like you want good software experience, you do not do a lot of gaming, like you do not do heavy gaming, then 765G and OnePlus Nord are more than enough for that purpose as well. Switching between apps, multitasking, all these things are handled very well by the OnePlus Nord as well. I feel like there are better performing devices in the market, but those devices do not come with Oxygen OS. If you are okay with MIUI, Realme UI, if you ask me personally, then I feel like I'm okay with MIUI and Realme UI because they are not bad. They are also optimized. It's just that Realme UI or MIUI do not have that perception of premium UIs. That's because they have budget devices which will cost you 10,000 rupees, which may lag after some time, but at that price tag, that's how it is going to be. OnePlus 3, OnePlus 5 always came with a flagship processor. I'm not at all saying that Oxygen OS has no part to play in it. It's just that MIUI and Realme UI are not that bad as well. There are better options available if you look for it. But if you want Oxygen OS only, then I guess OnePlus Nord is the device to go for. If you want to buy this device, the direct link will be present in the description box below. All the videos that I've made on the OnePlus Nord till now will be present in the description box below as well, so that if you want to see a comparison with some other device or something like that, that will be present over there. I guess that's pretty much it for this particular video. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to give this video a huge thumbs up. I know the video was very long. That's because I wanted to make a detailed video. Like one single video will answer all the questions that you have. If you still have any doubts, don't forget to reach out to me on Twitter at @Dhananjay_tech. I'll be more than glad to answer your queries. If you have not subscribed to the channel yet, subscribe, press the bell icon, all that stuff. Comment down below if you enjoyed the video or not. I guess that's it. Thank you guys. Thank you for watching.